grade 7s out there. So here's a little video about calculating the areas of trapezoids, parallelograms, triangles, and composite shapes. Want you to set yourself up for success. Okay, start off with the formula. Substitute the variables in the formula with the appropriate units of measure and calculate. Okay, that's all you need to do. Follow the simple process. You should be good to go. So let's look at the first one, trapezoids. So sometimes the units of measure, basically the lengths are given to you. Sometimes they are not. So in this case, they weren't. So I took out my trusty 10-centimeter ruler. Okay, I looked at my trapezoid. So you've got two parallel lines. You've got a parallel line here at the top, and you've got a parallel line here at the bottom. Okay, one is called A, one is called B. So the first parallel line measures 5.4 centimeters, and the second one at the bottom measures 8.8 centimeters. Now you need to determine how tall the height is of this trapezoid. So you need to create a right angle triangle within it. Either you can create one here on the left, or you can create here on the right. Just make sure that you are creating a right angle, a 90-degree angle. That way you can determine how tall it is, the height. Okay, so the height here is 3.2 centimeters. Okay, so start off just with the formula. Area equals A plus B, parallel line A plus parallel line B. You need to do this first. This is why it's in brackets. This is order of operations. Okay, bed mass times the height of the trapezoid, and then you have to divide that answer by 2. Okay, so step number 1, write down the formula. Step number 2, substitute. Okay, find what A is, find what B is, find what H is, and just write it into the formula. Nothing more than that. Okay, so A is 5.4 centimeters, B is 8.8 centimeters, and H is 3.2 centimeters. So just write that into the formula, leave everything else the same, divide it by 2. Make sure you put in the units of measure. In this case, we're using centimeters. Don't just write 5.4, write 5.4 centimeters, okay? So maintain that, because it helps you in the end by the time you have to write centimeters squared, okay? So we have to add the two parallel lines together. We do that. We get 14.2 centimeters. Then we multiply it by the height, which is 3.2 centimeters, divided by 2. Okay? So do one thing at a time. As you get better at this, okay, then you can start maybe, skipping a step and doing things sort of in a package. But in the meantime, take your time. Formula, substitution, 1 or 2 calculations at a time until you get to your answer. Okay, so we've added the parallel lines, we multiply it by the height, we get 45.44 centimeters squared. Now we have to divide that by 2 in half. So we're down to 22.72 centimeters squared. Okay, that is the total area of this trapezoid here. A plus B times H divided by 2. All right, formula, substitution, calculate. Maintain your units of measure. Let's go to the triangle. So we've had to measure this triangle. We weren't given any length. So the area, the formula, area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. So our base, 6.9 from here to here. Now we need to create a 90-degree angle within it, because we need to find out how tall it is. Okay, so the height turns out to be 5.2 centimeters. So next, substitute. What is B? 6.9. What is H? 5.2 centimeters. Make sure you put in the centimeters there, divided by 2. So multiply your base by the height. You get 35.88 centimeters squared, divided by 2. You're down to a total area of 17.94 centimeters squared, okay? So look at the process here. Formula, substitution, calculation, final answer. Notice how everything starts off with area equals, area equals, area equals, down to centimeters squared. Parallelogram, area of parallelogram is base times height. So with a parallelogram, top line is parallel to the bottom, and opposite sides here are parallel as well. Measure the base. Okay, so the distance from here to here is 5.2. Create a 90-degree angle. Find a triangle inside the parallelogram. Either you do it on this side or you do it on the opposite side. Make sure you have a 90-degree angle, and then you measure 3.5 centimeters. So base times height, substitute 5.2 centimeters times the height of 3.5 centimeters. You've got 18.2 centimeters squared total area. So formula, substitution, calculate. A equals, A equals, A equals. Okay, follow this process. Okay, you will get it correct every single time. The last one is a composite shape. No big deal, nothing fancy here. All that's happened is that they have put a right angle triangle on top of a trapezoid. Okay, so basically you have to find the area of each and add them together. Okay, so first thing you do, write out your strategy. Okay, total area of this composite shape would be the area of the trapezoid. Okay, write down the formula. You know that from, the formula here from the first question. A plus B times H divided by 2 plus the area of a triangle. Okay, base times height divided by 2. And all you're doing is once you find the area of one, find the area of another, you add them together. Simple. Okay, whether you do the area of the triangle first or the area of the trapezoid first, doesn't really matter. Write down your strategy. Okay, show your teacher exactly how you're going to go about calculating total area of this composite shape. Okay, two shapes have been combined together. Next, substitute. Nothing else. Don't calculate. Just substitute the variables. Plug in A, plug in B, plug in H. Okay, for your trapezoid. Plug in B, plug in H for your triangle. Just put it into the formula. That's it. If you do that, you are going to get a correct answer. So after I've plugged in all the variables on the trapezoid, I get a total area of 36 centimeters squared. After I've plugged in all of the variables for my triangle, I get 13.64 centimeters squared. Okay? Maintain this addition symbol, the sum. Okay? So once I calculate the area of the trapezoid in this case, 36 centimeters squared, added to 13.64, I get a total area of this composite shape of 49.64 centimeters squared. Okay? It's a very simple process, but you need to take the time to follow that process. Show all your work, show your thinking, and you won't end up making, mistakes and then getting frustrated. So again, measure, write out the formula, substitute your variables, and calculate. That's it. All right, thanks for tuning in. Hope that helps.